Ma'am, how to share the screen? Here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell me, can you able to view the screen?
Yes, ma'am. We can, ma'am. And we shall start, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I shall start with a prayer and then you can take
Fine,
over.
fine. It's okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon and welcome you all for the session on journal writing series. The topic of today is journal article writing and reporting perspective from sampling technique. Let us start today's session with the word of prayer. Today we have with us Dr. G. Jabaratna, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Management Sciences and Education, member of Health Science Colleges at Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. To discuss on the topic, journal writing and reporting perspective from sampling techniques. Dr. G. Jabaratna obtained her PhD degree in the discipline of Management Sciences after having completed her MCom, MBA, MPhil from University of Madras. She is also holding National Eligibility Test Certificate in Management awarded by the UGC. She has been serving as a teaching faculty in Faculty of Management Sciences, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, deemed to be university since 2007, with her current designation being Assistant Professor. She has, to her credit, total of 19 years of teaching experience. Her current teaching interests include organizational behavior, performance management, human resource management, accounting and finance, statistics, and research methodology. She has guided more than 60 mini and major MBA projects and published 16 articles in indexed journals. She has participated and presented 22 papers in national and international conferences, received 5 Best Paper Awards. She has genuine interest in research, management, and commerce. Since 2010, Dr. G. Jabaratna has been serving as an education unit member of Health Science Colleges at Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. Ma'am, we are really happy that you are here and thank you so much for being here amidst your busy schedule, ma'am. And over to you for your presentation.
Thank you, Deepa, ma'am. Thank you so much for the introduction and welcome. And shall we start now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. I really fortunate to meet you through this virtual mode. If it would be in the on direct to face-to-face interaction, that'd be better. But anyway, I hope you people are listening to me. I came to know through Deepa ma'am, that is all of them are teachers who are attending it. How many participants, ma'am, participating now? I couldn't able to see anything.
So far, 60, ma'am.
60 teachers. So I would like to value our time. And I know very well all of them are doing some research, or you have been showing so much interest in research. So it's easy. If you could chat with me in case if I ask any questions, then it would be very nice. Ma'am, Deepa ma'am, can you help me? If I ask any question, how would they respond?
Ma'am, they are given the option to unmute themselves and talk, ma'am. They can unmute and talk.
Very nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. So without wasting our time, move on to the content. Let me ask the first question. Why are sampling used in research? Anybody from the participants, can you tell me why we are using sampling methods in research, sampling techniques in research? Any participant? Can I get your response? Hello? Hello?
Ma'am, you are audible. Let me answer, ma'am. We cannot work on the entire targeted audience or entire targeted sample. So we are choosing the samples from the targeted audience so that it represents the entire crowd.
It's okay. Fine. Others are there, ma'am, are listening?
Pardon?
I received some message in the chat box. Yeah, it will come. Accuracy of result. Good. Thank you, sir. Now, we will discuss about it. The sampling. Why do we use sampling? Because, as sir said, we want to get accurate result. Cost effectiveness. We cannot study the entire population, and the time constraint. Due to time constraints, some whatever population is available, target group is available, sometimes due to time schedule we are not able to reach everybody and get information. And another thing, it's sometimes the cost cutting. We cannot spend so much money for collecting data. We need sponsors funding. Many times we may not get it. Okay, so that time we will use samples for giving justifications. Now the next question is, when are population used in research? See, mostly we are talking about sampling, isn't it? Some cases it's okay, we can use population. Which situation you'll use population in our study? Any response? Why do we use population? It's okay. See, yeah, please.
When the population itself is a manageable crowd.
Yeah, okay, good. Good answer, ma'am. Thank you so much. Actually, the population is very limited, and our time permits us to complete, be able to take entire population within the time limit, cover within the time limit, and the cost is also able to manage, and all that it's okay. Then we'll use population. It's nothing wrong. It's not necessary to use only sample. We can use population or sample. Now, I would like to give you the conceptual idea of sampling. Here, can you, I hope everybody able to view this. One set of population we are targeting. From that, due to time constraint and cost effectiveness and other permission issues, we have to get permission to do study. Sometimes they will not permit us, and it will take so much time. So many factors force us to choose certain samples. So we are selecting some samples from the population, and we are collecting information from the sample, and we are conclude, okay, whatever this population, the sample says, the same thing the other people over in the population will also be like that. Okay, this is what our conceptual idea. What we are trying to say, the whatever finding we get through samples, the same thing will prevalence in the study population. This is what we normally, because we want to say something, because most of the humanities studies are conceptual based. So we want to say some thoughts to the society, some ideas to the society, or some conceptual framework to the society. So we need to get opinion or perspectives from the audience or respondents, and we conclude certain things. Sometimes we try to generalize, sometimes that's not possible. Okay, so this is the idea about sampling. Okay, now I would like to show, this is the journal, one journal I have taken. The for the reason is, why should we concentrate sampling, and how we have to present that in the research journal. And this is what I would like to share with you. This is Prabandhan Indian Journal of Management Scopus Index Journal. Okay, it's Elsevier based journal, and Q3 version. So in this journal, if you go to author guidelines, you could able to see the 10th point. The manuscript must clearly specify the methodology used in the paper. In case of survey-based studies, it is mandatory for the author to mention the sampling methods, methodology, number of respondents, number of sampling, and the time period of the study. So this particular journal, they clearly specify what you have to include in the study with respect to sampling. Okay, some journals, they may not give clear, they will say methodology. That methodology, what you are going to discuss, you are going to discuss who is your target population, and who you have taken a sample, how many numbers you have taken, and where you collected the data, which method you used to collect the data, and how you are going to do analysis and all that. So now the question is, why should we do that? What is the need for doing that? Because without doing this, whatever analysis you make, whatever outcome you derive, and whatever conclusion you say, or whatever managerial implications you give, that will not acceptable. That is not acceptable. The reason is, your study is not scientific study. This is what they conclude. Without explaining the clear methodology, without telling who's the target population, how you derive the sample, how you determine the sample size, and how you, with tool you use to collect the data, which period you use to collect the data, all this are very much essential to accept your study, because through that only they come to know, yes, your study is very genuine study, and is a scientific based study. Whatever you are telling is authentic, it's acceptable, it's okay, reliable, and all that they'll accept. Okay, so some people, they least bother about sampling, they never care about sampling, they'll write something in the report, and they will they give so much importance for analysis part, conclusion part, and findings, and deriving certain modules, solutions, this and that. But if you send your paper to journal, the editor will not accept it. You may think my research is a very what is that, multidisciplinary research, and my research is, I used multivariate analysis, I use structural model, I use so many things, so definitely my paper will get accepted. But what will happen, the editor simply say, your paper is not suitable for our research domain, so please kindly excuse, like that they'll send the message. What is the reason? If you check it, there are so many reasons why the people got rejected, but one of the reasons is the sampling method. They try to read first. When you send the paper, they'll read the references. Okay, whether the reference is authentic references, or you copied and paste somewhere for the sake of submitting, that they will check. And the next part, the methodology, definitely they'll read objective and methodology. Without reading that, no author will accept your paper. So what they will do, they will read the methodology. In the methodology, you will write who's your target population, and how this why do you want to focus this target population, how this population relate to your topic, and why they are participating in the study, and how you get data from them, which time period you use, all that you will explain. Then they will read it. See, you cannot publish paper which the data which we have collected in 2000 or 2010. At this, if you send the paper to the editor, I collected the data in the year 2000. Now only I get time. I sit and prepare the report. I send it, and nobody will accept it because it's outdated. 2000, so many changes happened during this 20 years. Okay, so you are in different world. Maybe your work is very quality work, and you have done so much good, but who cares? We want the current information. We want to know what is happening around us at this point in time. Okay, so we should give so much importance for sampling. I'll show you one or two papers and then I move on to the content. This one paper is published in the year 2014. The journal is Journal of Business System, Governance and Ethics. The title is Organizational Culture, Corporate Performance, Empirical Evidence from Nigeria. I said, okay, this author, I have taken the component of methodology from this particular paper because I have to show some examples so that I take it. This author says the population studies the entire employees of Nigerian commercial bank because they want to study the organizational culture and corporate performance. So he wants to focus the target population as bank employees, commercial bank employees. Okay. So what he used, which method of sampling use? Stratified sampling techniques. Okay. So what he did, stratified, there is some rules. Stratified means there should be some strata. From that you will pick the samples. Okay. What he says, these banks stratified into two strata based on 1 year they're established, and how they divide the strata: old generation bank and new generation bank. And each stratum, two banks were randomly selected, and they were three strata: senior staff, directors, and manager. From that they pick. So he is explaining what he did and how he divided the strata, who are all involved in the study, and from where he picked the information. Okay, finally, how many number of samples? 80 respondents constitute our sample size. Okay, and this research is objective to explore the relationship between the organization culture and corporate performance. So when the editor read this, he will understood what effort they put to collect the data, and how many samples, your sample size, he could able to understand which tools use, questionnaire method they adopted. So this will help them to understand, okay, this particular researcher has done a good job. Then we will read his outcomes. Like that, they will move on. And another example I give you from the journal, International Journal of Business Society. It's published in the year 2013. All these journal are standard journals. Okay, it's Scopus Index journals. So see. Here, the relationship between the environmental issues and organizational performance. Okay, so in this particular sample, how they started discussing about the sample and data collection. They says the sample frame is from Federation of Malaysian Manufacturer Directory and Bruza, Malaysia. The stratified random sampling technique was used. The population is first divided into manufacturing, and because it's stratified random sampling. Okay, and here he explained about 261 respondents from 1,379 total population, how much response rate, all that they calculate. They explain what is response rate and which method used to collect the data, and how many questions they asked, all the details they have given. So, okay. And another example I give you from journal, online international interdisciplinary journal, which is published in the year 2019. Okay, examining the level of financial literacy and its association with gender, an empirical analysis among the individuals and individuals of Jammu. Here, what happened? They focus each and every individual of all the households of Jammu and Kashmir, whoever using the financial instruments, and consider as a sample of the study. And another important conditions they've given, they must be within the age limit, between the age limit of 18 and 85. Okay, so here what method is, it's called, it's a non-probability purposive sampling method. Why? Because yeah, somebody who interested less than 18, they may not allow them to participate in the study. So people who between 18 to 85, they're allowed to participate. Okay, so they have some purpose for allowing some people, some age group people in the study, because they strongly believe this age group people are capable to handle to respond this, and they may have some knowledge about this. So they, whatever responses they've given, that's acceptable. That way they're taking. Is it okay? So now I move on to the concept. So these are all the examples I've given how they are writing. Now, what are the things we have to concentrate? Okay, so here population and sample, two important things you know very well. The population in the sense to whom we want to target. Universe is one population, but normally what we'll say when we decide the title, next immediately which group we have to target or whom you want to help, and this is what will run your mind, isn't it? So this population is the number of people whom you want to help. Okay, your interest to help you have some idea, so you want to test their opinion, and you want to give some solutions, or why they're like that, you want to identify the problem, something has happened. So it's the population, you know very well, sample, from that you pick some numbers, that is actually sample. So this picture will help you. These are all basics, you know very well, so I don't want to spend much time on this. So from the population you have taken a few numbers. Okay, now I move on to the next one, that is called parameter versus statistics. Is it okay? So you cannot avoid certain conceptual ideas. Without understanding that, you cannot write a quality paper, research paper. You must know all the terminologies, and you should know conceptually how they are applied that in their research work. Okay. So here parameter versus statistics. Normally parameter, I'll explain with an example. See, if you want to study the learning attitude of students, so the entire students, whether maybe in India or in any country, students will have certain kind of characteristics. Okay, the population will have certain characteristics. And if you want to study the teachers' teaching ability, so all the teachers, whether which country, it's not a matter. Every teacher will have certain characteristics. Okay, so this is called actually parameter. The characteristics of the entire population is called parameter. Now, what is statistics? From that population, I want to target one particular group. I want to study this particular population. And we are giving certain specifications why we want to study that. So if you study that particular group, that is called sample, from the sample, you derive certain conclusions. So the characteristics of sample is called statistics. So we will use normally population mean and sample mean and all that. So these are all normal terminologies that you must know. Okay, and another terminology, what you have to know, heterogeneous and homogeneous. Okay, so here see homogeneous group and heterogeneous group. See, now the participants, there are 91 participants are participating now. Okay, all of them are homogeneous or heterogeneous? Anyone please respond? Tell me, now we are in a homogeneous group or heterogeneous group? Hello? Hello? Homogeneous or heterogeneous? We are heterogeneous, isn't it? Because obviously we could able to see the difference from faculties from various disciplines are participating. Okay, so one response, let me read, heterogeneous. Thank you, sir. So here because obviously if you could able to see the difference, then that is heterogeneous. Okay, homogeneous group, see commerce teachers, commerce faculties, computer science faculties, okay, and then engineering college faculties, medical college faculties, like that. They may have different divisions, but if we pull them in some common platform, and we give some kind of uniformity, then they will call them as homogeneous. Okay, they belong to engineering background, they belong to science background, they belong to arts background, like that we classify them. So what's the point? Why should we do that? Because see, to whom we want to address, that we must have clarity. What I'm going to do in my research, which group I'm going to target. Am I going to target? See, if you take teachers' teaching ability, if you discuss, you can take a heterogeneous group. How the computer science teachers are teaching, how commerce teachers are teaching, how management teachers are teaching, how engineering college teachers are teaching. You can, that is a style of research. You can collect information from different discipline teachers, and you put together, you say this teacher based on that curriculum they are teaching this way, and this teacher based on the curriculum that is also one kind of research you can take. But if you want to study, particularly you want to focus on teachers teaching ability, then that will become homogeneous. Then you have to have different style of research design you have to prepare. Okay, so this homogeneous and heterogeneous group concept will play a vital role when we select the samples. Without focusing this, you cannot identify the correct populations. Okay, now the next concept is representative sample. See, what is representative sample? See, in every class we'll appoint one person as representative. What may be the eligibility of the student? Why do we select or appoint one person as representative? What may be the eligibility? Ma'am, there is no option for unmute. Nobody is
And the
sharing.
options are given, ma'am, given to them to unmute and talk.
Yes, all our faculties, please feel free to talk to me so that I feel happy. I'm looking the system and talking. You know the pain of doing this. If you're responding me, I will be very happy. Otherwise, you type in the chat box, I'll read. It's no issues. So yeah, let me read. Each sample represents whole. Okay, so here, thank you, sir. See here, representative sample actually you accurately the particular person will reflect the qualities of the entire group. If one person who become the representative, the person should know what is happening, everything on daily basis. He or she should participate on daily basis. Without having basic knowledge, they may not become the representative. So here samples, when you take samples, you have to ensure that you are identifying the representative sample. You may ask, ma'am, one sample or all the samples? Every sample should be a representative sample. What is a representative sample? They must know what they are talking about. They must have some basic experience. They must have some kind of involvement in the research. That otherwise, whatever input they give, that is really waste. See, one person, for example, I tell you, I come and talk to one student, okay, whoever happened to meet me. If I come to SS Jain College and then I ask one student how his classes are going on, how this particular teacher taking class. The student said, yes, ma'am, fine. And that teacher, I have no idea. See, here, the student response, it's not maybe that is one kind of response. But the problem here is I have no idea to whom I should ask. I am not even bother about the person belong to which discipline, and the teacher, whether the student and the teacher have any kind of contact or any relationship in that academic domain. Without having any idea, simply I'm asking some question because the particular students are studying in SSJ college, and I'm asking some opinion about some teacher. And based on that student opinion, if I write any report, will it be a valid report? Anyway, the student belong to SS Jain College. I'm a researcher. I prepare a questionnaire and I have one respondent. The respondent is also responding well. But what happened here, I'm totally clueless. The response is it's not valid response. And I have no idea to whom I should ask. So what you have to do, you have to identify the representative sample. So how can we identify the representative sample? You have to ask some qualifying questions. When you prepare the questionnaire, you have to keep certain qualifying questions. What is qualifying questionnaires? Yes, you have to qualify the sample. Whether the sample is eligible to participate this study or not, you should know. See, I want to study the teacher's teaching ability. When I come to SSJN college, I want to do purposive sampling. What is purposive sampling? You know very well. I have some purpose. I have a certain group. I will not allow them to participate because I want to fulfill my purpose. Okay. So what I'm telling, teachers who less than 1 year experience are not eligible to participate in my study. Because my concept is anybody, whoever participate, whoever working there must at least work 1 year. Then only they've been able to understand the entire system and how the administrative works are going on, how the teaching systems are working there, and all that they may not be able to know. So what I'm telling, I purposely exclude one group and I include the remaining group. Whoever work more than 1 year, they'll be eligible to participate. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll come and distribute the questionnaire. I ask them, ma'am, please answer me. Okay. So I'll ask the question. First qualifying question is, how many years of experience you have in this particular? They may have 15 years experience in the industry, but for this particular college, they're new. They're not eligible to respond the system of the college or the administrative capacity and anything. They're new to the system. They have experience and they are really knowledgeable, no doubt about it. But they are disqualified. I disqualify them. The reason is what is my purpose? I want to know this particular college faculty's teaching ability. So the teacher must be there for 1 year to respond my question. So I disqualify the teacher. So ask qualifying question, keep some qualifying question, disqualify them and move on to the correct person. without asking qualifying question, qualify the sample, don't move on. Anybody can represent means your research outcome will not be the reliable one. Okay. And then next one is this. Actually, I hope you can able to see this. These are all the sequence you have to follow. First one is you have to identify, clearly define who's your target population. Why I want to target. Some people, they will think, okay, I select a sample. So this particular group, see, whenever you select any type, title or anything, whom you're going to help, that researcher must have some kind of social significance, isn't it? They must think about the social responsibility. With the mindset of social responsibility only they have to do research, because we target somebody, okay, and they are so good, they didn't ask anything from you, but you're doing research giving some solution. Anyway, they're not going to mind about it. Then what for you doing research? For the sake of publishing, for the sake of getting promotion. So we are wasting our time and energy, but you may get some recognition, but that will not help anyone. So whenever you do research, okay, definitely all teachers must have some kind of research interest. If you are a very good researcher, you'll become a very good teacher. If you say, ma'am, I don't have interest in research, then definitely I'll tell you it will affect your teaching ability. Because if you have research potential, research interest, then you will become a learner. Once you become the learner, you will learn what is happening around you. So you will give solid input to the students. Is it okay? So you will help the students to think properly, and you will update the students what's happening around you, and you will help the student to do proper research. Okay, if you are not so strong in some field, how will you educate your students? So what you must do, every teacher should develop some kind of social responsibility. Since we belong to the teaching field, okay, we must possess certain research qualities. We must develop some research interest. You should not say that is not my domain. Okay, that is not acceptable at all. Every teacher should be a good researcher. That may not be your choice, but you have that kind of urge to learn something new. Okay, so target population, first you have to define. Once you define the target population, then you have to select the sample frame. Okay, what is sample frame? From where I'll get the data? Okay, I target somebody. Okay, so where I'll get the data? Okay, I want to study commerce students knowledge on this particular, for example, LMS system, learning management system. Okay, particularly I want to study the commerce students. Okay, so where will I get the data? Definitely I have to approach various different colleges, government college, private college, and then where will I get the data? Only in the attendance register, isn't it? So here the sample frame is where you will get the data. That you must know. That may be in the telephone directory, that may be in the attendance register, or that may be in the published list of informations. That source is very, very authentic. That you have to identify and you have to fix it. Is it okay? So second thing is you have to check the frame. Where will I get the data? How it's, sometimes you can approach some government agencies, they will provide the data. Sometimes if you approach the particular HR, they will provide the data. Sometimes if you approach, in case if you do some organizational based study, survey based study, then definitely you can get the sample frame. From the sample frame, if you pick some information that is authentic. Okay, and then next you have to focus on sampling techniques. Which technique you're going to use, which size, how many number of samples you have to select, and how you're going to collect and how you're going to assess. This is what I'm going to discuss with you. And before you move on to the bulk data collection process, you have to focus on pilot testing or pilot testing or pre-testing. Is it okay? So here, why should we do this pilot testing? Actually, we want to know who's your target population, and we have some instruments, isn't it? Questionnaire or some kind of checklist or some interview questions we have. We want to know whether the questions are well defined, clearly arranged, sequentially arranged, and the audience, whoever are going to answer my question, they're able to relate, they're able to understand we have to ensure that then only you move on to the large population. Okay. Sometimes if you prepare a questionnaire, you will ask multi times. Same question you would have by mistake would repeat in some other place. Sometimes that may be irrelevant question. Whether you are staying in a hostel, they said, ma'am, there is no hostel facilities available here. Then what's the point of asking the question? One time, what happened when I was doing my PhD, that time I went and distribute this pilot testing questions because I want to test whether these questions are suitable for this particular organization or not. I put the salary more than 5,000. I thought the nurses who are working there will get more than 5,000. So I start with 5,000 and 5,000 to 10,000, like that I put. When I distribute the question, they said, nurses said, ma'am, here starting salary is 4,000, ma'am. So please change it, please correct it. So I realized, okay, because the starting salary for some group of nurses is 4,000, but I assume, okay, minimum salary is 5,000. Okay, then I change it, then I alter it like that. For that, before start collecting the bulk samples, okay, we have to do pilot test. Now, what is the condition for pilot test? Normally 30 small sample, 30 number is the ideal number. You can take 30 samples and distribute your questionnaire or interview them and find out, understand, and you have to do validity, reliability test. Okay, you have to test whether your pilot study through your pilot data collection method, your test is reliable. What is reliability? Reliability, based on the response, we come to a conclusion, yes, okay, my instrument, which instrument I'm going to use is really valid. It's worth everybody able to understand. How do I know that is really good? My questionnaire is really good, or my the instrument which I use is really good. We can use, there are 4 different reliability tests are available. The famous one is internal consistency. First one is test retest. Due to time constraint, people will not use the 3 tests, because the same test you have to conduct again and again. That is called test retest. If you ask one question to one person, okay, how do you like this program? If they say, yes, ma'am, it's very nice. After 1 week, I should ask, last week you attended the program, how was it? Then what was the response? After 1 week, if they maintain the same mindset, same opinion, then that is reliable. If they said, after finish the program, how was Jabba ma'am's program? If there's somebody asks you, hey, so sweet, yeah, and after 1 week, it's okay, fine. Then what happened here? There is no consistency. The reliability is missing. But due to time constraint, we may not apply the test. Another one is intro observer test. The same test we have to conduct with different people. Okay, so different set of people, we have to collect the data and we have to come to conclusion. And another one is parallel form test. What is parallel form test? The same questionnaire, we will change the technical terms, and we will modify, shuffle the questions, and we distribute to the same participants, okay, after some time. So they will answer the questions. Based on that, we'll understand how they are changing their opinion. The last one is internal consistency test. That is what we're using. That is actually Karnbach alpha test. What we have to do, collect 30 samples, okay, and use SPSS, apply the data, go to that formula and apply it, your reliability test, and you will get answer. The answer should be more than 0.70. That means 70% more and above is acceptable. If anything less than that, if you recheck the SPSS, it will say which area, which question is really problematic question. If you eliminate the question, then you will get the good score. Okay, so like that you have to ensure, and then you have to move on to the real data collection. Okay, so I hope I can explain so far clearly. Now I move on to the next one. See here, sampling techniques. There are 2 major classification you all know very well, because you have been in this field: probability and non-probability sampling. Under probability sampling, simple, random, stratified, cluster, systematic, multi-stage, so many sample. I am going to help you when you have to apply this, and why you are using this, and what way you can use in your research. This is what I'm going to discuss with you. Okay, non-probability sampling, quarter, snowball, judgmental, and convenience. All the sampling methods are there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to help you which area. If you have idea about it, it's fine, good. If you have no idea, please take note of it. That will help you. Okay, so first one is probability and non-probability. See, where you have to apply this probability sampling. Anybody have any idea what is probability sampling? Please tell me. I hope many PhD completed faculty is also participating. Probability, any idea what probability was non-probability sampling? Hello? Can I get response? Hello? Okay. Hello? Deepa ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible. Participants,
Okay.
please reply.
Yeah. Any response is there?
Message, there is no response, ma'am. One moment.
Okay, fine. Okay, let me explain what is probability and non-probability. Probability sampling, when you have to choose the probability. I'm going to tell you where, when you can apply this kind of sampling. Okay, so probability sampling, you are going to give equal importance to all. There is possibility you can give equal importance. So then you can apply probability sampling. See, if you want to study one particular institute faculties or particular group of people, then you can give equal importance to everybody. Okay, you allow them to participate. Everybody will give equal chance. Then you can apply probability sampling. That non-probability sampling, you cannot give equal chance. That is not possible at all. You cannot give equal chance. Yeah, sir has written something. What is it? Known subject select versus non-known subject select. Okay, so this is one way of response. Let me explain my style. Okay, so probability sampling, the list you can prepare. You may get the random numbers. Whoever participate will be in the sample frame. Okay, you can able to identify the sample frame, and you can assign random number for each and every member, or there will be an attendance register, or will be enrollment number, or there will be employment number. Something will be there, some order they will follow. From that frame you will pick certain thing, so you can able to give equal importance to all. But non-probability sampling, that you cannot identify sample frame anywhere. That means, see, you want to study general public opinion about one particular brand. Is it okay? You take one particular brand, for example, toothpaste or shampoo or something. You randomly, or you cannot say I'm collecting data. It's not randomly collecting. It's conveniently collecting something. That style should be different, because the person who's going to respond, they are not come under any frame. Is it okay? And there is no random number at all. And you cannot give equal importance. If you talk to somebody, by the time 100 people will cross that place, you're not focusing everybody. Whoever is possible for you to talk, you're talking. You're not giving equal chance to all. So that time, that is called non-probability. Is it okay? So you sit and think. When you decide one topic, you sit and think, who is my target population? Okay, where I'll get the sample frame. My target population, okay, I can approach this particular bank, or I can approach this particular institute. So that will come under probability, because if you approach the bank employees, the bank employees will come under the frame. Is it okay? Or the people whoever come and visit the bank, they will not come under probability. They'll come under non-probability, because you will not give equal chance to all the visitors. Whoever visits a particular time, you may able to approach one person. By the time 100 visitors will come and go, you will not give equal chance. That time you have to apply non-probability. So you have to say why you are telling this, because you have to say, this is my situation. When I visit the bank to get opinion from the visitors, I cannot give equal chance to all. So I choose non-probability. Under non-probability, there are so many methods. Then which method you adopt? That you have to explain. Okay, so here this diagram will help you to understand what is probability and non-probability. Probability is in a sample frame. Anybody will get chance. Everybody will have in the equal rights. Okay, they are in each number, so you can pick anybody. But if you come to non-probability, either you will go by one directions. Okay, whoever is able to meet, whoever has come on the way, so others will not get. See, if you walk this way, you will get whoever happened to meet you this pathway. Okay, And if you walk this way, whoever is happened to me, what about the others who are standing beside you and behind you? You will not worry about them. Okay, so that is called non-probability sampling. Okay, now I'll explain simple random sampling. When we'll apply the simple random sampling, see, one particular class, for example, BCom final year. Okay, BCom final year is this particular college, all 60, 70 students or one particular class. You need not put stratified or cluster or system, all that not required. Unless otherwise the study force you to select some specific occasion, specific people. Otherwise, because the particular class, all are equal. All are in the attendance register. All of them belong to one particular year. So you can apply simple random sampling. So just you have to sit and think, okay, my participants, they're working in one particular bank, the bank employees. So all of them are working in the same time. They're coming in at 10 o'clock and they're finishing at 2:30. So if I approach them, I can apply simple random sampling. Let me give equal chance. Okay, that time you can apply simple random sampling. When you have to go for stratified random sampling, your study objective is very much specific about the cadres. Okay, you want to study about directors, you want to study the opinion of principals, you want to study the opinion of senior teachers, and you want to opinion of junior teachers. Like that, you have to differentiate them based on their designation. That time definitely you have to go for stratified, because by chance you cannot meet any director, by chance you cannot meet any, you cannot take risks. That time what you have to do, you classify them under different strata. Is it okay? So first group, directors. Who are all the directors? Put them in one cluster, one strata, and all the principals in another all senior teachers, like that. Some professors, assistant professor, associate professor, like that. You classify them, and then from that you pick something that is stratified. Why we are doing this? Because our research study, we are going to say how this junior teacher opinion is totally different from the senior teacher, how this principal opinion is totally different from the director's opinion. So we want to project all that, we want to discuss in our research all that. So we are choosing this. So the need for selecting the stratified random sampling, because we classify them based on their age. Why this age group is no way matched with the, see, if you take even our college, see, junior teachers, they may have different choice, taste and preference and everything. Senior teachers, they may have different mindset, thought process and everything. So we cannot pull them, we cannot tell them, we cannot advise the junior teachers to you have to be like a senior teacher, or you cannot tell senior teachers to adopt the new latest thing, because experience wise, academic knowledge wise, and the exposure, everything is entirely different. If you want to project that in your research, then you go for stratified. Otherwise you consider them as teacher, all of them are teachers, then you get opinion. That time you can apply simple random sampling. Next one is cluster sampling. When you go for cluster sampling, see here, identify the ideal minded people, like that. You classify them commonalities. See if how many participants here are 88 participants are participating. Okay, if I want to do cluster sampling, how I can classify commerce teachers, computer science teachers, okay, and then economic teachers, and then language teachers, like that. I can put them in different clusters. Is it okay? Okay, and then from the clusters, I will based on, because here you classify them based on certain norms. Is it okay? So that norms will help you to compare different segments, different dimensions. Is it okay? So you, from that you will pick something. Okay, why you have to say, why do you want to put them in that group, and what basis you put them in that group. Okay, and what characteristics you define to put them in that cluster. All that you have to define the cluster sampling. Okay, but starter, you can classify them based on the demographics. Okay, but cluster, you have to tell the solid reason for to put them in different clusters. And then systematic sampling. Here, systematic sampling, when we'll go for systematic sampling, in case you want to write research about training programs, who are participating in the training programs, you can adopt this systematic sampling. Why you can adopt the systematic sampling? Because see, now the 88 participants are participating. Is it okay? In case you want to recognize teachers based on their participation. Okay, how will you recognize them? How many times you participate such programs? What knowledge you gain through such programs? Okay, how will you know that? Okay, so what you will do out of 88 total registered number, whoever participate, you mark them. Next time, tell the teachers, see, people are participated, we will give opportunity to the next teachers who are not able to participate. In case in this platform, we may able to allow only 100 participants. Okay, all of them want to participate, then we have to adopt systematic sampling. Otherwise, there will we will have conflict of interest. Then they will say our management is biased, they are not allowing me to participate all the time, the particular teachers, something will happen, no? So that time we will go for systematic sampling. We have to give equal chance. So if you do a longitudinal study, one that is periodically you want to collect the data, then you apply systematic sampling. First time you collect some set of teachers. Next time you say, ma'am, whoever participate already don't come. Please participate. Who are not able to participate, please participate now. Give your valuable opinion. So next time, whoever left out, please come and go. So systematically you're collecting samples. So you try to cover the entire population by systematic sampling method. If you use any other method, then you will not cover entire population. There is no other go. You have to use only systematic sampling in case if you do periodical study. Okay, you have to use systematic sampling. And the last one is multi-stage sampling. See, in the multi-stage sampling, when you use multi-stage sampling, see here we want to identify, for example, the government calls principal and say send 5 students for organizing one government event. They SSJ and college students should do comparing and stage management, everything they should do. You have to identify 5 students. How will you select 5 students? You have different disciplines, you have different classes and varieties of students you have. Obviously, you have to apply this multi-stage sampling. The reason is because the multi-stage sampling, you must know how many different disciplines are there. And each discipline who's so good, you will pick. Okay. And then you filter it. And then finally, you find out star performance and you send it to them. Is it okay? So in normal life, we are applying that. Sampling, we should not think it's only applicable for research. If you use sampling in daily life for all decision makings, and that will help you to have a peaceful work environment. Okay, so better you apply some logic and tell scientifically selected. How you do this? Because of this criteria, we have nominated the students, and from various discipline, how you divide the discipline, from the discipline, how you filter them, and how they get that eligibility. Then who is the perfect? Then the students will be happy. Otherwise, the students will say every time the teachers will say, identify only this particular girl or this particular student for participating all official events. They are not giving chance to others. Some kind of problem will come. Same way if apply research. See, this and all we are doing in daily life. We are multiple things we are doing, but we have to realize that. Okay, then non-probability sampling, convenience sampling is one. When we'll apply this convenience sampling, I already told you, you approach some place and you want to get information. You're talking to one person, and other people, many people are crossing that place. You cannot be able to give equal chance to all. That time you can apply convenience. Judgmental sampling. See, judgmental sampling, researcher, I feel if I ask my opinion to this particular student or this particular teacher, they may able to give complete information. Based on my judgment, I identify the sample and select. That is called purposive. Otherwise called purposive sampling, because I believe this particular group only able to respond my question, and if they respond, that would be correct response. Based on my judgment, I exclude some people, then that is called judgment. And final, snowball sampling or chain referral sampling. Here based on reference, that is very rare sample. Okay, that sample you cannot able to identify. So you will ask people, do you know anybody like that? So there are samples. See, some medical college students, one time one dental student, she wants to get one particular specific tooth problem. She came and explained me, ma'am, do you know anybody who has no front tooth and or broken tooth, so that I can help the patient to solve the issue. So through referral we identify one patient. So that is actually snowball and referral. Okay, and the last one is, I already discussed this, quota. Quota sampling is you are giving quota. Only 50% is a male allowed to participate, or 80% female, like that. You are giving some quota. You only determine that. You are not giving equal chance to all. Okay, that is actually quota sampling. So I discussed where we can apply. So one or two examples I give you and I'll wind up the session. See, here it's another journal. In this journal, they use simple random sampling. So what you have to do before you start writing the article, you download the similar title which they already published, and you check different styles of presentations based on the author guidelines. They will prepare it. Okay, here they write simple random method to collect 50 respondents and 38 male, 12 female, and all that explain. And like that you can check. Okay, and some errors also there, population error. Sometimes you may not be able to identify who's right. For example, one example I tell you, sometimes we'll ask patients purchase intention. Mother will come and purchase some material in the shop, but that is not the mother intention, because the child pushing the mom, that's why she took the decision. So who's behind the screen, we may not know. Okay, that will be a error. And another time, sample frame, we may not get updated version, old sample frame. That means past record, it published in the year 2018. From that list, we will pick some samples. That is another sample. Okay, selection error. Because of hurry, we will select whoever is possible. That will be another non-response, is another error. We will not able to get clear response because 11th hour we'll force them to respond. Some mistake we have done. So that is non-sample error. Like that, sample error is a formula, frame error, chance error, response error. Combination of all this called sample error. You should avoid it. And you should avoid too many number of samples or too less sample. Both are will not solve the purpose. Too less will not get clear idea. Too large is very difficult to manage. Complex, it's very difficult to put everything. And so you have to have optimum level of sample size. Is it okay? And sample size calculations, please approach statistician in case you are not very confident. Okay, I reached the allotted time, so I may not able to explain this. See, the sample size published database is available in case your sample is infinite sample. Finite and infinite, there are two classifications. In case yours is infinite sample, then tables are available, sample size tables are available. You can identify what's your margin error and you can pick it. Is it okay? So I'll explain with this article and conclude it. So this particular article is Indian Journal of Community Medicine and Public Health. Okay, it's published in the year 2018. In this article, they have given sample method, multi-stage sampling, how they divided. Stage 1, what they have done. The total number of households be converted from each village were determined by the population proportion size method. The second one is stratified standard they applied. Why they're explaining all that? Because they want to prove the genuinity. They want to say how they derive this conclusion and how they get this information, which audience responded to me. Okay, so see, everybody may say something, but some people may say something that will give so much value. See, you get tomorrow's holiday, immediately you'll ask who said that. If you somebody say my friend said that, you will not accept it, but principal said that, immediately you'll accept it, isn't it? So who said matters a lot. Who said, you have to determine based on the sample size. Okay, you have to say this sample addressed my issue, this sample gave this opinion, so that people will accept it, people will acknowledge it. Is it okay? So these are all the examples here. Why I've given this example, where you can get that sample frame. You have sometimes the top listed 1,000 companies. It's published in the website, which site, which journal, which magazine they published it, or which newspaper they published it. You can get the correct information, updated information. From that list, you can pick. That will become the sample frame. From that list, you can pick the data. Is it okay? So like that, you can identify the samples and you can apply it. Any questions? Ma'am, I think I cannot exceed the time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You were on time. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any questions or queries you want to discuss with the resource person?
Anybody wants to ask any questions? Very silent group of faculties. Anybody have any questions? Deepa ma'am, in case if they want to ask any questions, you collect it and send mail it to me.
Yes, ma'am, we will be
One
able to
less
do that.
questions. Yeah, requesting all to please.
Ma'am, it is actually a feedback link
Fine,
posted.
fine. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Deepika to formally propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to propose the vote of thanks for today's session. I would like to thank the Almighty for making today's session a success. I extend my gratitude to our speaker, Dr. G. Jabaratna, for taking the time to be a part of the FDP series on journal writing and for sharing her knowledge and insights. I thank all the participants who have taken the time out to attend today's session. A big thank you to our secretary and our associate secretary for their constant guidance and support. My special thanks to our principal and vice principal for giving us the encouragement we always need. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Dr. S.T. Deepa, our technical team, and our internal training team for all the support and coordination. Once again, I thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. It was really a very good, thing about, explaining about the sampling technique, ma'am. We would have used a lot of sampling techniques. We may not be, knowing that for what purpose we are using, because we always get the help of statisticians for doing this data analytics and all. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time, and we are really honored that you are here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Participants can fill up the feedback link. You will be receiving your e-certificate within a week's time.